You're doing it again, the same thing, right now, wondering if this goes well, if the every person you met you gets you, if you sound smart enough to taken seriously. That sharp pain in your chest, that's not anxiety, that's what controls you, and someone else is holding it. Let me tell you what's keeping you away feeling alive. It's not your work, it's not your relationship, it's not even your bank account. It's the 47 times a day you check if you're understood. The mental rehearsals, the replaying of conversations, the wait, did they take that the wrong way? You thought your whole life, this is normal. You call this, it's being thoughtful, being empathetic, being a good person. You know what? Nietzsche would call it what it is, self-inflicted slavery. Let's look at what's happening in your nervous system at the time. When someone just raises an eyebrow at your comment, your amygdala screams immediately danger, a massive surge in your cortisol levels. Your brain screams into threat mode. You're asking why? Because thousands over years ago, being misunderstood meant exile, and exile meant death. Your hardware thinks a confused look from Karen in accounting is a saber-toothed tiger. You're using outdated tools in a modern world, and it's bleeding you dry. Nietzsche saw something that most people miss. He watched people shrink themselves, not because they were weak, but because they wanted to be easier to understand. He called this herd morality. The herd doesn't ask, is this true? The herd asks, is this acceptable? And here's the trap. The moment you need to be understood, you hand someone else the pen to your story. In other words, you let others to paint your path. You say, here, paint me, I'll wait. Now think about it. Every explanation is a negotiation. Every that's not what I meant is a confession. It leads to, my reality requires your approval to exist. This is the invisible chain. Let me explain to you what modern slavery looks like. It's not chains, it's explanations. Scroll through your messages or go deep down to your memories right now. How many times have you said, I'm not that kind of person. That's not what I meant? Let me clarify. Each one is a surrender ceremony. You're not communicating. You're defending your right to exist. Nietzsche would look at Instagram captions and see a civilization of defendants, people explaining, people justifying, people trying to prove their innocence. Here's the harsh truth. A king does not explain, not because he's arrogant, but because explanation is the language of subjects seeking permission. Let's talk about what you can't afford to lose. You have a limited amount of care currency. Every morning you wake up with 100 coins. You spend 20 coins worrying if your email sounded rude, 15 coins replaying that awkward silence, 30 coins wondering why they didn't text back, 25 coins explaining yourself to someone who's already decided about you by noon. You're bankrupt. You have nothing left for your actual goals, your family, your empire. Meanwhile, the person you're worried about? They spent 0 coins thinking about you. This is the great asymmetry. You're investing in people who don't even know they own stock in your mind. Here's what Nietzsche understood that you don't. Being misunderstood is not a bug, it's a filter. It reveals who demands access to you, who needs you to be simple, who can't tolerate complexity. Those who can't handle ambiguity can't handle freedom, and they don't want you to be free either, because your freedom makes them uncomfortable. Watch what happens when you stop explaining. People get nervous. They can't position you. They can't file you away. They can't neutralize you. That nervousness, that's your authority forming. And now if you're asking, okay, but how do I actually do this? Here's further help, step by step. The first step is the observation state. Most people live in the experience state. I am angry. I am hurt. You must shift to the observation state. I notice anger in my body. There is hurt present. See the difference? One makes you the leaf, one makes you the mountain. Let's practice this. Imagine you're sitting in a theater. On screen is a character who looks like you. They're being criticized. Watch their face turn red. Watch their hands shake. But you are in the audience, eating popcorn. From the theater seat, you can think clearly. The character should probably just stay quiet. That's the strategic move. This is the gap between stimulus and response. This is where your power lives. Let's move to second step. The 10-year zoom. Someone disrespects you. Your chest tightens. Pause. Zoom out. Will this matter in 10 years? Will you even remember their name? Now zoom out further. 100 years from now, you're both dust. The person bothering you is now the size of an ant. Now third step, the void response. Next time someone tries to bait you, do nothing. Not passive-aggressive silence, not suppressed rage. Seriously nothing. Look at them. Blink slowly. Return to what you were doing. No frown, no eye roll, just void. This silence terrifies people. They want to be seen, they want to fight, they need your reaction to feel important. When you give them nothing, you delete them from your reality. They become ghosts. Make a scene for the fourth step, the surgeon. You're on an operating table, you're dying. 2 surgeons are available. The first surgeon loves you deeply, cares about your family, is crying, hands shaking, overwhelmed with emotion. But the second one is quite the opposite. Doesn't know your name, doesn't care about your story, thinking about golf later. But hands are steady, mind is clear, master of the scalpel. You choose the second one every time. That's one you have to become when your life on your hands. When you care too much, your hands shake. You make mistakes born of desperation. When you detach from the outcome and focus on execution, you become precise. You become unstoppable, and these two makes lethal combination. So the fifth one is the dangerous individual. Nietzsche's ultimate figure was not the hermit. It was the dangerous individual, not dangerous because of violence, dangerous because they cannot be controlled. The dangerous individual does not defend, does not explain, does not ask permission. They just move. The world adapts or breaks. Here's what makes them dangerous. They have killed the need for your approval. And in a world built on approval seeking, that makes them incomprehensible, uncontrollable, free and perfect. So the sixth, the price. I won't lie to you, this path is cold. When you stop playing the social games, you'll lose people, but not what's good for you. Friends who needed you to be small so they could feel big. Family who needed you to be lost so they could feel found. Partners who needed you to be broken so they could feel like saviors. They will say you've changed. They're right. You stopped being food. The air is thin at the top. But here's what you gain. Respect. People respect the people who doesn't need them. People chase the people who doesn't chase them. When you become a fortress, you become a destination. Before the last one, now it's time for the 0 point. We arrive at the final state. This is not nihilism. Nihilism says, nothing matters, so I'll rot. The 0 point says, nothing matters, so I'm free to create meaning. You realize your reputation is just a story people tell. Your failures are just plot twists. Your pain is just sensation. The game can be excited at any time. You are the player, not the character. And once you realize this, you can play with full intensity, but 0 attachment. You laugh when you lose, you smile when you win, but you should never forget it's just a game. For the last one, let's focus on the choice. Tomorrow morning, the anxiety will try to creep back in. The emails will scream. The texts will demand. The world will try to hook your mouth and drag you back into the noise. What will you do? Will you bite? Or will you remember the king stepping over the mud, the surgeon with steady hands, the dangerous individual who cannot be positioned? Here's Nietzsche's questions for you to understand the situation better. If no one understood you for the rest of your life, but you preserved your inner coherence? Would that be defeat or victory? If you have to think about it, you're not ready. If you know the answer instantly, welcome to the other side. The herd is behind you now. Now make a move.